Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP. Welcome back to another episode of my Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders playthrough with the Draft Day Sports College Basketball. Still in the 2020 version. Kind of outlined my plans last episode, but I'll just recap it briefly here. Um, it looks like 2021, you're going to be able to import your older 2020 saves into that version, but you can't do it until you get to May 1st, which is typically the start of the next season. It's when you purchase your scouting reports, those kind of things. So I'm giving it one more year in the 20 version, and then I'll import it over. Um, I'm only going to do a couple episodes where we go through the season. Hopefully today I'd like to get through the rest of the regular season and the Conference USA tournament. I know last episode I realized after I was done it went really long, and I apologize for that. I just thought I had a bunch of stuff to cover in that one. So we'll mainly finish up the season today. That's the biggest thing we're going to do. But just to recap, if you maybe missed the last episode, we are off to a great start. This is the kind of season I've been waiting for us to have happen, what I've been hopefully building towards for a while, really, across multiple teams that I've coached. Everything's just going good right now. I think at the very just being conservative, I really think we got a great chance of breaking 20 wins, if not going even further. But right now, I don't really want to think about anything too much more than that, like winning the conference tournament, making the Final Four tournament. Uh, I feel like this year we've got a chance to meet some of those goals that have been set for us. I think hopefully it'll boost our prestige, help us recruiting. One of the things I did want to address, I see it from a couple of commenters here and there. I know it can probably be frustrating, but I am a very conservative player when it comes to these games. I typically, I think a good sports management sim like this, and really this is why I've been enjoying playing this one. Out of the park baseball gives you this, football manager gives you this. It's just really a good role playing experience. If you played any role playing games, you'll know immediately what I'm talking about. It's like you feel like you're able to progress within whatever world you're in the game, and I just like that idea of for me the goal really is not to come out here and win a championship every year. I think you might be able to do that. Better players. I'm seeing some guys posting their results, and I'm like, man, you guys are good at this game. And you know, that would be great. But I like the idea of building something, even if it takes a while, just building something that's going to be steady and, that makes a little bit of sense. I don't expect um, a Middle Tennessee team in real life to be competing for a Final Four championship year after year. I mean, they're just not in the conference. I live in this region. I know that basketball is not that big of a sport. Certainly not that big of a sport for some of these colleges around here. So, for me to get this team into what I'm hoping is a perennial year after year, just getting to if not the NCAA but the NIT, that's an accomplishment, and I'll take it. So that means that recruiting. I'm not getting the 4 and 5 star recruits. I just don't see how you could do it realistically with this kind of team. I think if it was real life, I think you probably see about the only way a Middle Tennessee would get a recruit like that is if it was someone who just happens to be in either the hometown or the area of that college, and they just didn't want to move from home, or they didn't have the grades, or something kept them from going to a bigger program. That's about realistically that's about the biggest way you're going to get some of those recruits to a smaller campus, smaller college. But for me, I just I like the idea of the slow build. So I apologize because I know, like I say, some of you guys who play this, you're probably better players than I am. You know more about the recruiting and how to do it, I'm sure, than I do. But I'm kind of sticking to, what I've got. I want to do it maybe. I don't know. I feel like for me, I think it would be great if you were in real life, if you took over a program like this, if you did actually make it to that kind of level, because it's so hard, especially in college athletics. I mean, because you've got the constant turnover. With basketball, you've got underclassmen, who go to the draft. So as soon as you get a good player, I mean, some of these bigger programs, their turnover is really high because, hey, those guys are not staying long enough, right? So I don't know. I just wanted to address it because I hope you guys don't feel like I'm just not taking your advice seriously or not appreciating your advice, because I do, and I know that you guys are giving the right advice. But there might be times when I go a different route, and it's not because I didn't believe what you had to say was worth it. I'm trying to do this kind of from a role-playing perspective, is to just kind of throw that out there. I really think, that's one of the big things I love about these kind of games, because it's about as close as you're going to get. Even like fantasy sports, online leagues don't really give you that kind of experience a lot of times. But a good game like this, like out of the park baseball, Football Manager, those are, I guess, three of the top ones I can name. It's a really good experience, and I'm enjoying this for that reason, because I do think, I'm hoping, knock on wood, this is, this season is kind of proof of that to a certain extent, that, the strategy I had of trying to match the offenses we were running to the players, that we had, the kind of talent we had, keeping these guys together for starting for 2-3 seasons, using, about 2/3 of the time, I'm trying to stick with their set offenses, not giving them a whole lot of freedom. Now, you got some of these guys who've been running these offenses with me now for 3 seasons. I'm hoping that it's starting to pay off. So I like the idea that there's different ways to win in this game, short of just getting a top prospect, getting a top recruit, and having 5 starters who are 4 5-star players. If you can get it, it's great, but I think it says something that I can get this kind of record with a team that's, doesn't have that kind of talent. But we'll see if we can hold it. We got a tough schedule down the line. We got, 5 out of the last 9 are going to be on the road. And this first game is maybe the biggest challenge of them all. Western Kentucky, I think they have a better RPI. I think their RPI is even the best of any team, even ours, in the conference. I do expect to lose some down the stretch. I think the schedule's just against us a little bit. But 9 games, man, if we can just win 3, I would take a 20-win season at this point as a very big step forward with this team. All right, here we go. This is, I think we win this. This team's for real. If we don't, it just shows you how the competition is right now. So couldn't do it 91-81, and Eschmeyer is injured. So that's going to be, potentially this could be season derailing here. So let me see. Close game in the second half. We actually outscored them. Eschmeyer had a good game, 16 points, 9 rebounds, but already, sore hip, 90% for 7 days, so hopefully we'll ride that out. We had a good game, though, from several people here. Craig, Tremblay, Brown, once again, looked good off the bench. This guy's leading scorer of the 2 centers. Baxter, considering we lost, I mean, he contributed a little bit off the bench, so that's good. Shooting, we were so close with these guys. They had 2 more baskets in the field goal, right? We're even 10 3-pointers apiece. So the difference was free throw line and those two extra baskets. We out rebounded them. Turnovers, yeah, they won that battle. And I've said that last episode. It's something that I think is really key, at least with maybe the way that we're running this team offensively. The offensive sets we're using, maybe that's the deal. But we lose when we lose that turnover battle. It's rare that we're going to win. Certainly not going to win consistently if we're consistently losing that. So a little disappointing, but I'm not ready to throw it all in yet. I still think we're sitting pretty good right now. 17-5, 7-3 in conference with 8 games left. And I'm not sure who we're playing next, but so we're 4-4 in terms of home and away down the remaining games on our schedule. So hopefully that's good. If we won 4 of those, again, I'd be so happy. If we split the remaining 8, that would be such a big boost over where we were previous 2 years. And we're probably going to see a few more scouting reports coming in, but sooner or later, we're going to have some of these recruits either move on or come to our school. So we got a couple of scouting reports. Texas, San Antonio. We are picked to win that one. For what it's worth, I don't expect that to really mean a whole lot until the game's over. But we are rated a little bit higher too, or scouted higher than Southern Miss, so that's cool. Now we're playing Marshall at home. Marshall having a tough year, 6-15, 3-7 in conference. I'm going to wait and play that last individually. Here we go. Western Kentucky, they're starting to win. That was a road win for them. So if I look at the standings now, we're probably right up there with them. We need this one to stay tied with them. And good defensive battle here. Pick up our 18th win, 65-49. Johnson, great game looks like, and that's one of those things too. I went on that long rant, I guess, against worrying about picking up 4-star recruits, and hey, there's a 4-star recruit for us. But we didn't know that until he joined the team. But he player of the game in this one. Team wise, yeah, we shot 50%, so that's a good deal. Didn't go to the free throw line that much, which is probably a good thing. And then turnovers, we won that battle, 14-19. Individually, Craig, pretty decent game from him. He's not going to get 10 points a game, though. I don't think. Yeah, he's come close. The first year that I was a coach here with this team, he got 9 points. I thought he would eventually turn into maybe a double digits per game kind of player. Eschmeyer struggled, but he's only 3 more days. He's back at the 92%, just 3 more days with that injury. Off the bench, Brown. It's going to be interesting to see what the ratings for these two guys look like next year. Eschmeyer, he was a 2-star last year and lost some of his individual ratings, so it could be that Brown's the better option next year at center, but we'll see. And let's get back to summing out the week. A lot of games. going through, I would assume that we got another game coming up on Saturday here. We're one win away from matching what we did in conference last year, which is with 9-9. This one's a tough one though. On the road against Texas El Paso, I would be willing to bet that. Oh gosh. Again, it's one of those things. If we win this one, we're for real. Western Kentucky continues to win. They could easily start running away with the conference. And we lose 75-71. So we got Johnson, another good game from him, but it's close. It's just really, that was one of the things that I hit on, and then had some good comments on from some of my viewers about the home and away. It's really tough, and a good team, I think you can tell in this game when your team is really good, when they start racking up wins on the road. This one, big obvious difference to me. Turnovers. Johnson 8. Even though he got 15 points, that's not good. Let me see what his turnovers are like. I haven't seen that being too big of an issue for him, but he's up to 3 a game. That's not good. If I were, let me take a look at the individual play. That's the big story, though. I think that's why we lost this one. Too many turnovers. Shooting was fine. We had a better shooting percentage, but they got way more attempts because we kept turning it over. Eschmeyer should be healthy now. He had a good game. Brown not as good, although he did give us 6 rebounds. No points in this one off the bench. But looking at the league leaders in turnovers, I wish if that does, let me make sure it takes a little bit of time to generate this report. Let me see if turnovers per game. Man, you got some guys up here with 6. So, looking at it from a conference perspective, man, Eschmeyer's leading in steals. Yeah, Johnson is 11th. Montgomery is on the list. Montgomery struggled with that at point guard last year. Hopefully, he's a freshman. Give him maybe a little bit more time. Hopefully, he'll come into next season, knowing the offense a little bit better, and that won't be as big of a deal. But turnovers will kill you. If you're consistently losing that battle in each game, you're gonna rack up the losses. I think that's, from what I've seen with this, that's one of the biggest and easiest things that corresponds in terms of the stats to the record. High turnovers are gonna kill you. Are we not going to get a game in this week? Let me see. That I was expecting to have another game that week, but I guess not. So we may have some recruiting news here coming in. And we're going to be playing Southern Miss next. Man, they are struggling, 2-10 at the conference. But we got a Rice scouting report. And we are scouted to win. I can't remember if we may have Rice at home. And then we've got Florida Atlantic. More than likely, I think they're a road game. We are scouted to beat them. And we've got a decision here. I sure hope we get this guy. No, he's going to Austin Peay. We can't get the recruits. And I know, you guys have given me good advice about that, but if you're not getting them, I don't know, I don't really know what more you can do if they're just not deciding to come to your team. I mean, when you've got them rated, you've gone through all the different recruiting steps. Like for that guy, I went and visited him more than once, I think. I did not have any more information really to get from him. And we were, I think, at one point his top school, but now we're not. So I'm going to have to start, really working on some of these other guys now. I'm not really missing much. Academics is not a big concern. Okay. Now this guy I think has been to our school. Let me double check. No, yeah, he has. So I'm going to watch and scout him live. We're just in the evaluation period. Contact period, I think another one comes up in March, so I'll try to visit him. This guy in Kentucky here, man, he's got, I can't imagine him wanting to come here. He's got a 4.0. I guess I could try it. I haven't tried it in a while, but I could see if he's interested. So I usually go school location, then conference prestige, and team prestige. But I'm going to go academics. It's only one of the things. Playing time, not a big concern. I feel like we need to improve our prestige overall to get these recruits, but I would like to, if we do see any kind of, prestige upgrade, I'm going to ask the board for a boost to the to facilities. That's the first thing I'm going to ask for. I'm going to scout him live, host recruit, and watch film. All right, we're starting to run out of recruits, but hopefully we'll land some of these guys. I just feel like we're on the long road with this team. We've got to get over the hump before we can start seeing a lot of success. I really do feel that way. And here we go. Did Western Kentucky, they lost, so we need this win to keep pace. We do, 75-59. Gosh, I didn't see any double digits in points there, so maybe it was a good team win for us. Certainly a good defensive win. We held them to under 40% shooting. Rebounds, they out-rebounded us, but here we go. The turnovers, just 4 turnovers for us. That won the game. I mean, because we got more attempts, enough, we had a poor shooting performance, but we got enough of a boost in field goal attempts that we closed that gap. And then big difference was field goals. I mean, we won free throws, we won this one at the line. Rebounds, Eschmeyer 12. This guy is really a good rebounder. So, 7+ rebounds? That would be a career high for him and a big boost over previous years. That's why I'm keeping him as a starter. I think it's nice to have the points that Brown gives you, but I would rather have the rebounds at this point. We'll see where these two look next year. Outside of him, Johnson, a pretty decent game again. He cut down on the turnovers. I like the bench play we had in this game from Webb on up. Plus 19 from Brown, plus 13 from Baxter. That's really good. This guy's got a good chance, I think, starting at small forward next year. I've been primarily playing him at shooting guard because of the depth problems there. But Montgomery, I put him out there because of his outside shooting, and I think he's responded. 10+ points a game, that's good enough for me at this point, knowing that I didn't have much of an option. 48% field goal percentage from him. I bet he's one of the league leaders in that. I might be wrong, but I'll check. I'll go ahead and check real quick because that's intriguing me right now. So Conference USA. Johnson is top 10 in scoring, but field goal percentage, let's see what we got. No, I didn't want that. Sorry. Field goal percentage. Brown is leading the league, but Montgomery, that's pretty good because look, the rest of these guys up here, Montgomery is the first guard you're seeing on that list. So these guys, they're getting those field goals inside primarily. So I got to feel pretty good about the shooting I'm getting from Montgomery and Johnson. So now let's go back to the games, and that 19 wins, that's going to put us, I think that put us at, 9 wins in conference. So that equals what we did all of last season. That's how great this season's been. So that gives us 5 more games left in conference. And in the rest of the regular season, this game I might save the tournaments until next episode. We'll see how we get through these next few games. I still think we need to get 1, maybe even 2. Well, that's a home game against Texas San Antonio, but we need to get another road win or 2, I think. Western Kentucky's still leading. Before we go to this game, let's see how the standings are. I think we're probably, we're tied with Texas San Antonio. This would be big. They're not too bad on the road considering what usually happens. I mean, getting 6 road wins is not too shabby. All right, let's go. This could tell us if we've still got a chance, I think, finishing the regular season. Yeah, there we go. 86, and that gives us 20 wins. Didn't think I would see that this year. I felt pretty good about it, but not that good. So 86-76, pretty convincing. We won both halves, 5 points lead in both first and second half. Trent Craig, player of the game. So team-wise, I think it's once again, man, it's going to come down to turnovers is going to be a big part of this because, rebounds, they out-rebounded this. Shooting, even though we had a better shooting performance, they were still 50%. That's pretty good. They had 2 more three-pointers. We were at the line a few more times, but turnovers, 18 for them, 12 for us. I think that allows us to get just a few more shooting attempts and, close game, really. Closer probably than the score shows. But outside of Craig, Tremblay, 8 points, 5 rebounds. Again, with the turnovers from Johnson. 4 in this game, not too great. Off the bench, Baxter again. I think that's pretty good bench play from him. And then Brown, 12 points. He might even, that would be kind of crazy if he gets, he's not going to get 10 or more, I don't think. But that's pretty good for a bench player, considering he's only getting 12 minutes a game. If I'm looking at how his scoring potential is up there for a center. It's, I don't know. At least he's a sophomore. He's gonna, unless I get a really good recruit coming in. I mean, this guy's gonna have a chance. I think to start one of his seasons here, maybe his senior season. But let's go back to playing out. That's probably gonna be. Nope. We may have a Saturday game coming up. I thought that was going to be the last game of the week. we've got a couple of recruiting things out there, I think, for this week to see. We got a visit that's going to be reported on. I will say with recruiting, if I'm able to get, like if I've got 4 scholarships available, if I'm able to get all 4 of those scholarships out there and accepted, I typically feel okay about that, because I have seen some of these guys, like this Johnson's a prime example. I mean, this guy came to this team, and after we got started on the new season, he's a 4-star recruit when he was a 2 and 3-star recruit at one time. There's a lot of intangibles with recruiting. So we got Charlotte coming up in Alabama, Birmingham. I've been paying more attention to the scouting reports this year, because we're actually showing up ahead of some of these guys. UAB, I think that might be a road game for us. And then Art Smith's visit, he appreciated the time, but we're down to, with centers, this guy's only 10th on our list. Man, we really need, I'm just going to keep scouting him a little bit. It is kind of frustrating that we can't have any better, and I'm going to offer him a scholarship just to keep, if he has change of heart, or if, I know we're just 10th on his list, but maybe, I don't know, maybe when we get to the contact period, maybe it'll open up again. I don't know, I don't know what to say about recruiting. It's just, I've found it to be really, really challenging and difficult to handle recruiting on some of these smaller teams, smaller conference teams. I think you have to really, again, I think it comes down to getting over the hump where you're on a positive trend with either prestige, or you start winning and start showing up at tournaments. So give us another year or two like this, and I think we'll be okay. This is going to be a tough one. Florida Atlantic on the road. They're 9-5 in conference, so they're looking to beat us, to tie it. Standings wise, we're probably still chasing Western Kentucky at this point. They're undefeated at home. Everything's looking like they're going to win. No, sorry, they're 7-3. I was looking for Texas San Antonio, Florida Atlantic. Yeah, they're a game behind us, but 7-3 at home. I knew that the second half of the schedule was going to be tougher. I was hoping, though, that we'd keep that record going, but can't do it. 84-75. So now, the 3 of the last 4 games are on the road. We can't afford to lose them all. I mean, we need to have a pretty decent seeding, I think, in the conference tournament. This one, pretty close. They had a great performance, really, both 3-pointers and at the line. That probably made a big difference. 9-point win for them. They had a great second half. We led going into halftime. 16 points from Johnson, 4 turnovers again. He's kind of cut back on that. 14 points for Brown off the bench. The guy might get 10. He might wind up with a 10-point average if he keeps it up. 9 points from Baxter. I'm liking this guy. And as long as he stays happy enough with the team, I think he might be the favorite for small forward next year going in. So let's get back. I want to try to get through these, because it would be nice to get that tournament in before the end of this episode. I still, I'm not going to feel bad about this season. If we lose the next 3, I still think 20 wins. That's just and we're going to finish with their best record in conference right now than we have in the 4 seasons now that I've been with 3 seasons that I've been with this team. So I can't feel bad about it. It's just with that kind of start we had, I hate to feel like we squandered it or choked down the stretch, but this is a good season. This really was. I bet some of you guys are probably surprised yourselves that we were able to put 20 wins up. So Rice 7-8. I could easily see us losing this one. This is the kind that we should win, and we do. 83-73. That was something that I noticed. If there was any indication I had early on in the season that maybe the season would be different, it was when we started winning those road games. Because if you've been playing or watching the series, you'll know I've complained about it at least a couple episodes. But we're not talking about a losing record on the road. We're talking like 1 win out of 14. So that's been a challenge. And when we won like 4 or so, got up to 4 or 5 road wins, I knew this team was probably a little different than the previous ones. But as for this game, we outshot Rice. Turnovers were even, but we out-rebounded them. Had a little bit better shooting from three-pointers, and that's how we won it. Eschmeyer, 11 rebounds. That's pretty good. 9 defensive. Johnson, 16 points, but 4 turnovers. That's about his average. I think he might wind up pretty high, certainly in the conference on that. He's gotten worse, actually. He's up to, nice, still shows 3. But I'll live with it because of his scoring. What's his happiness? He's pretty happy. I hope he stays with us again next year. I can't imagine, though, 21-plus win season. I don't know why he would leave. Off the bench, Brown, 10 points. Landrum, Peskine even looked pretty good here. Baxter not as great, but he only got 8 minutes, too. So that gives us 2 more games left. And I think it's going to be Charlotte is one of those games, I believe, on the road, and Alabama, Birmingham at home. So hopefully, if we split those, that would give us a 12-6 record, and that means that we would have won 5 of the last 4 or 5 of the last 9. So I could be happy with that. I wouldn't feel like we squandered that early season lead if we wind up with that many wins. (21-7) now. Easily my best record with this team, and really it's the best record I've had for a while. I'd have to go back to the Austin P team, which is first team I took over when I started showing this game on my channel. Looks like there's no messages here coming through, no emails, so we're going to be playing the games. So it's Alabama, Birmingham at home, Charlotte on the road. And UAB, they've struggled a little bit, but 9-7 in conference is still pretty good. Western Kentucky continues to win. I think if they haven't clinched it, I think they're all on their way. So we win here, 22 wins. Jeez. 81-73. Another thing that, last season I was kind of moaning about, and it's really tough if you're not winning road games to get the streaks going, but winning streaks have not really been that big of an issue this year either. So looking at this one, we had a better shooting performance. and we won that turnover battle pretty handily. They had 18, we had 10. Rebounds were even. We're struggling at the free throw line, and I think that's surprisingly it's Montgomery is not doing too well. Let me see how he is at free throws. 67%. I don't know. I would like to see a little bit better from him. But looking at the team, I mean, starters had a really good game up and down the line. Eschmeyer struggled. Hopefully, was he in foul trouble? Yeah, he was in foul trouble on this one. He did manage to get 12 points, but just 3 rebounds, just 12 minutes. And then Johnson, 8 points, but he was at plus 13. Brown, 17 points in this one. I'm telling you, he's not 9.7 a game. I wonder if it's tempting to just start him to see how many points that he would get at this point. But that's a good first year from him, primarily off the bench. But outside of him, bench play wasn't that great in this game. This is a really good team win, and we needed it because I think that keeps us mathematically in position to maybe that puts us on top. We're now tied, 3-way tie, and we're going to be playing Charlotte. Let's go ahead and get to those next games. It'd be nice to see, those other teams that are tied. Hopefully they won't play each other. That's the thing. If a couple of them play each other, that's going to suck. But 12 wins in conference. I've got to be, I've got to come down a little bit, realize this was a great year regardless, because at that point too, 12 wins. I think we joined when I started this episode. We were 7-2 in conference, so we have gone 5-3. Even if we lose this one, we would be above 500 down the stretch. So you got Texas San Antonio win. Louisiana Tech beats Western Kentucky. So looking at the standings, there were some upsets here. UAB won. So Texas San Antonio looks like they are going to win unless we do. So I think the way it is now, we're guaranteed. We're going to be sitting out like the first round of the Conference USA tournament. So we've got a bye week there. But I think if we win this game, I think based on record, I think we would win the conference outright, the regular season anyway. Man, this is for a lot. And it's just so hard to beat a team on the road. But we do. Oh my gosh. 78-59. I can't believe we did that. 78-59 on the road. And I'm going to look at the game, and then we'll take a look at the conference to see if we won the title, regular season title. That's crazy. Double from Eschmeyer. Good end to the season for him. And, the rebounds were nice from him this year, 7+. Craig, 11 points, 6 rebounds. He was kind of quiet at that power forward position. He's a senior. He's not a scoring senior, and he's listed as a disruptive force. Thankfully, for what it's worth, he's got a good coach relationship. I thought that was going to be a bigger issue with this team, but it hasn't really, knock on wood. Johnson struggled. He had 4 turnovers, not many points. He winds up 12+ though for the regular season. And then off the bench, no surprise, Kevin Brown and Baxter. These guys look really good. Brown with 10, Baxter there with 12, but even 5 rebounds. That's some good bench play. I know when I had some success in teams in the past, I like having that 1-2 punch at a certain position where you got two guys who are complementing each other like that. You got one guy maybe playing a little bit better defense, and you got another guy who comes in off the bench and scores in bunches. So that's really cool. But big question, what do the standings look like? It's us. So we're going to wind up winning the regular season Conference USA standings, however you want to say it. We are the regular season champions in this conference. So hopefully that'll do something for prestige. I can't imagine that it wouldn't. If you look at the bubble watch, I don't think we're going to be. I don't think we're going to be in if we don't win. But hey, it's going to be hard to see from this because if the bubble watch, we're not ranked for sure, right? And I got to be honest, I've never coached a ranked team because I just keep choosing these small market and small conference teams. So I've never been ranked here. Outside of Penn State, who were terrible in terms of they were big college, but I could not turn them around. So we're down here at 59. I mean, our RPI, is there any other team on the bubble from Conference USA or in for that matter? Western Kentucky, they're putting them in the tournament. And I think that's probably based on their RPI. So it's like these, two teams, even though ours is better. So, is it possible that we could lose in the conference tournament and make it to the Final Four tournament? You got Texas El Paso here on the bubble watch, Texas Arlington on the bubble watch. One of the things that I liked about this conference way back when I first chose UAB, you had a chance for two teams, even though this is a lower conference. You still have a chance for two teams to make it out of that conference. So let's. I know we're pushing these episodes longer and longer, but I'm going to. When is our tournament? Let me just see. We'll look at the. Well, it's going to stop before we play, so let's keep going. I think I'm going to save it for next week. I know you guys would probably like to see, just like me, you'd probably like to see how this turns out. But I think we've gone pretty long in this in this episode already. I just want to see how the matchups look in the conference tournament, and then we'll come back, play it, and go through the postseason tournaments. Hopefully we're going to wind up in one. It's just a matter of which ones we wind up in, or which one we wind up in. So let's take a look at we finally get a recruit. So we've got Antoine Wilcox, who is a power forward. I like his size. Again, he's just a 2-star, but this guy has proved a little bit. We've gone up his list a little bit. Western Kentucky is an alma mater. That would suck if we lose this guy to him. But Wilcox, I think there was a few things here that I liked about him. His coach said he's a hardworking kid. He's not a leader, but he doesn't cause problems. So I feel like he doesn't miss practice. I think he's got the work ethic. I do think, I know some viewers commented on the staff that I need to improve the staff, and I do. But I do think we do have a better assistant in terms of player development that we've had in the previous 2 seasons here. So I feel like, again, I think that, there's different strategies you can use to win this game. My strategy at this point is obviously to work on improving the guys I get, matching the offensive sets and defensive sets and, all that kind of thing to the team that I have. So this is a guy with good work ethic. He might turn into be a decent player. So I'm just happy to get one recruit, to be honest. Now let's go back to the game. So we're going to be playing. Nobody's declaring for the draft, so we're looking at the tournament here. So we're going to be either Alabama, Birmingham, or Charlotte. I like that, but we're seeded first, and then it'd be Florida International. I like that too over Western Kentucky and Texas San Antonio. But I'll come back and do that. Sorry for the cliffhanger, but I don't want to keep this one going too long. I got to say, this was surprising, but finally we've got a season to be happy about. 23-7 record, 13-5. We're going to a tournament. Again, it's possible if we get a win or two in this conference tournament, we might be going to the Final Four tournament regardless. But I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Look for us next episode. We'll go through the tournaments, and then after that, it's going to be 2021. We're going to get that version loaded up and get this save imported in and play with that one for a while. As always, thanks for watching, supporting, comments. I really appreciate you guys when you get engaged with the videos, and I will see you next episode.